So this product also has a stand, so you can use it in an upright position. I'll just go and find that stand in the scene tree and unhide it, so you can see it on the bottom there. And what we just need to do is reorient this scene so that we can see it in that stood up position. So I can change that ground plane from Y to Z, just in my scene properties. And then what I'll do is just take that entire assembly and use the rotate tool to just rotate it around 90 degrees. So again, you can see those degrees up in the right hand corner there. And just make sure that that is sat on that ground plane, like so. And we just tweak this slightly, so move the entire assembly up and that stand down a little bit so we can get a better look at it. Like so. And then the final thing to do here is just add a material onto that stand. So a metallic finish for this one, use a stainless steel. Like so. So a further thing we can do is use any digital image as a background. I have a simple JPEG image here of this desk and monitor. And so what I'll do is use the studio environment map to get the lighting correct, and then just drag and drop this image as the backdrop. I'll use the scale tool just to scale it up there, just make sure it's within the boundaries of my rendering, and then just reorient this product and put it in the correct view for this scene, like so. And then I can just set that rendering going, which again will just take a few seconds. So here we can see that final rendering. As you can see, it's a great tool for getting an idea of what your product looks like in its natural environment. So I have some examples here of the product where the rendering settings have been ramped right up, and these only took 10 or 15 minutes each to render. So here is the first one that we did, and here's one of the products stood up with a white casing. And here's a simple JPEG image as the backdrop, the one that we rendered here. And again, at the end here, a couple of examples of how you can quickly and easily explore different color schemes with this rendering engine. So that's an overview of rendering within Deep Exploration. You can get some amazing results from your CAD data without having to pay for expensive prototypes and photo shoots. So the final area of this demonstration I want to cover is technical illustrations. I'm just going to reload this model so we can see it without the new materials and without that stand, and back in its standard orientation. And then I'll just go to the technical illustrations tab, like so. I'm just going to prepare this model to create a technical illustration. Now, technical illustrations can be used for many different things, such as user guides and instruction manuals, and can be very expensive to produce if you need professional illustrators to draw products from scratch. With Deep Exploration, you can just use your CAD data to quickly and easily create your technical illustrations. Now with our model here, I've just hidden a couple of the casings and moved a couple of the screws down, and then toggled the grid and shadow off. And I can just simply go to technical illustration mode to view this model. Now there are a few things that are characteristic of technical illustrations. The first of these are callouts or part balloons. I can simply select a few of the parts as I've done here, and then go to my parts tab, and then just simply create those callouts, like so. And if I go to the settings of those callouts, then I can specify the nature of them. So I can change the part name, I can change the balloon shape or size, and I can specify different leader types as well. The second thing characteristic of technical illustrations are thrust lines. Again, very simple to create. I can simply select this screw and then select the casing, and then go to the thrust line tool, and there's that thrust line created. So I'll just do exactly the same for these two other screws, like so. Again, now the great thing here is if I move these screws, then we can see that that thrust line updates. So wherever my model moves in the future, then my thrust lines are always going to be in line. One more thing is detailed views. So we saw these when we were looking at markups earlier on. And again, very simple to create. We just select the tool, drag a circle around the aspect that we want to create a detailed view of, and then drop that balloon. The one great aspect is the ability to change the view of the detail here, and as you can see, the entire model is embedded in that view, so I can just turn it around and tweak it, have it any which way I like. I can also look at the properties of this balloon, and we can see that I can change to an arrow leader, or I can change the colour of the border. So finally we can just render this image. You have two choices here. You can either render as a vector image or a raster image. So firstly we'll render as a vector image. I'll just save this to the desktop, and we'll be able to view this in deep view, and here you can control those thick and thin lines. I'll just drag and drop this into deep view, and there's our image. As you can see, I can select all of these different lines, so if required I could take this image and edit it. If we go back to Deep Exploration now, we want to create just a simple raster image. So again, I'll go to the raster image renderer and just set that going. So this can be simply saved as a JPEG or PNG, as you can see here, and then drops into our technical publication document. So I'll just cancel this and get our product back to its standard orientation. And that brings this demonstration to an end. I hope this has given you a good insight into the capabilities of Deep Exploration and shown you some of the great results you can get from this system and from your existing CAD models, and just how easy this system is to use.